Hello my friends, this is Steve the Cruise Butler. I haven't done a video in quite a few weeks, so I wanted to kind of catch up on things. Wanted to let you know what we're doing. Next week we're going to be actually doing a brand new cruise line and a brand new ship. I'm real excited about it because it's got a lot of my family heritage on this cruise line, which I've never been on before. So it's going to be a great video, so hang tight with us. We have a lot of information to discuss along with TSA and what's happening with them lately. So I've got my handy paper here because we got a lot of notes to talk about today. As I said, this cruise goes out of Miami, and one of my rules of thumb, especially even in Texas where we do a lot of business, I always tell people go in the day before, because I've almost missed a ship a couple times in Texas, even when I gave myself 7 hours to get to Galveston. So things can happen, construction, weather, whatnot. But in Miami, we're going to be going to a brand new hotel for us on Brickell Avenue called the Aloft Brickell, Miami. And this is actually somewhat close to the airport, close to the marketplace where a lot of the stars' homes are done. And also it's close to 5 to 10 minutes away from a lot of restaurants, bars, and clubs. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll only be 10 minutes away from the cruise ship. So that's going to be kind of neat to experience that too. Okay, so I'll let you know a little bit more about how that hotel worked out. This cruise we're going to be on, it's a 9-night cruise. It's round trip from Miami. The ports are nothing exciting as far as new places we've been to before. We've been to all of these ports before, but we're going to be going to Cayman Islands, Montego Bay, Jamaica, Cozumel, Roatan, and Costa Maya. I am excited about Roatan because one port we've never been to, because it's typically operated by Holland America, Carnival, and Princess. But since Cunard is part of the Carnival family, I'm hoping we're going to go to a different port to see that for the first time. If not, the original port that we've been to in Roatan a million times, they've actually added a lot to that with water parks and such. So either way, we're going to have a good time there. Okay, now I'm going to ask you for a big favor. It doesn't cost you a dime. It just costs you a click on your screen. We are a new channel. I've been in the business for 30 years. I do have a lot of great information to share with you on travel. And also for those of you that follow my food channel, I'm a retired chef and I have a lot of great cooking videos online too. So make sure you hit that click that subscribe, like, comment, do all of that stuff. It'll help us grow. It won't cost you a dime, and we'll really appreciate it. So go ahead and help us out. Thanks. Okay, as I was saying, we're going to be on a cruise line. It's a small cruise line. It's upscale. It's been around almost 200 years. Very, very English proper line. It's called Cunard. A lot of people may have heard of the Queen Mary, the Queen Elizabeth. Well, we're going to actually be on the QE3. They don't call it the QE3, they just call it the QE. But we're going to be on Cunard for the very first time, and we're also going to be on the Queen Elizabeth for the first time. So again, my mom and dad both worked on Cunard, so we're real excited about trying it. Cunard is a little bit more fluffier and more upscale than some of the other cruise lines. So we have to think a little bit more about our clothing because they have a little bit more of a formal nights and it's a little bit more of the old traditional style of cruising. On this cruise, we're going to be teaching you a lot of new things I've learned recently. Technology is always changing. So there's actually 3 apps that I'm going to be trying on this cruise. So that, again, that's why it's important to hit that subscribe button. So when I do publish this, you'll have all the information firsthand. What we're going to be talking about is there is now a app that for Wi-Fi that you can use both on the ship and on land. As you probably know, your home AT&T, Verizon, Sprint does not work on the ship, so you have to buy an expensive plan. On this trip with Cunard, my plan was for a 9-day cruise, I was going to pay almost $200 for a Wi-Fi package to use on the ship. And then when I got to all of these ports, I still had to figure out how I'm going to communicate when I'm in port. So I was going to have 2 different kinds of apps. So I was led into an app. I'll let you know how it goes once we're on the ship. But this is one app. It costs $120 instead of $200, and it works on the ship and it works in port. So I'm going to test it out and let you know how it works. There's also an app too for the people that have Wi-Fi included on their cruise, and there's a lot of cruise lines these days that do have Wi-Fi included, so people only really need it when they're off the ship, when your cruise Wi-Fi doesn't work. So there is another app which I found out about, which has got huge positive response, which is good if you're staying in Mexico for a week and your hotel doesn't have Wi-Fi, or if you're roaming around Europe, you'll be able to use this app. So I'll test it out and I'll let you know how it goes. Let's see. One other thing that I want to talk to you about too, another app I found, there's a pier scheduler. What a lot of times what we're doing is we found out, now unless things change, I found out the pier schedule in Miami. So there's going to be just one ship in Miami when we get there and one ship when we leave. And that's going to be our ship. When we got off of Virgin, there was 10 ships in port. It was utter chaos, because if you think there's 4,000 people on each of those 10 ships, that's 40,000 people getting off that ship, 40,000 people getting on, all within 3 or 4 hours. So you got 80,000 people at the pier trying to get on and off the ship. It was almost impossible to get a cab or an Uber. Cops were blowing whistles, and it was just crazy. And then also too, Uber jacks up their prices almost triple because they know it's a high demand and you wait forever. So I always like to kind of know what to expect. So there's an app I'll be sharing that will tell you how many ships are going to be at the pier when you get there. Another thing I mentioned recently on my Facebook, with the long lines at TSA lately, what I recommend is every airport has a website, and on that website it will have a TSA wait line. Thankfully, in Tulsa, where we are, it's been a 0 to 15-minute wait. Some airports have 2 or 3 hours. So again, you want to know what you're up against when you wake up in the morning to catch your flight, because again, if you miss your flight because you didn't give yourself enough time, the airlines are going to have no sympathy for you. They'll put you on the next flight, but the next flight might mean that you're going to miss your cruise. So again, that's why I always say go in the day before and know how long the lines are. I've heard the lines sometimes are out to the parking lot at some major airports. So again, do yourself a favor and check that out. So my friends, that's all I've got for you tonight. It is Saturday night. We're leaving Monday. We got a lot of packing. We have to get the animals to boarding. We have to go stop the mail. We have to do all the stuff you have to do when you go on a vacation. Get our bag tags, put on our luggage and all that stuff. And forwarding all the emails and phone calls and all that kind of jazz. So we'll let you go. Follow us. We will be filming every day on the Queen Elizabeth, and we'll be showing you menus, food quality, the entertainment, and maybe after watching this, you too will want to travel on one of the luxurious and traditional Cunard ships. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon on board. Ciao.